We got to talk about the Trump administration clearly defining what gender is. Either you're male or you're female. That is it. That is all. Now, if you want to identify as an attack helicopter, Sonic the Hedgehog, whatever the case may be, that's your personal business. I'm not knocking you. However, you cannot use your gender identity or transgender status in a legal sense as it relates to Title IX, which is the whole point to this video, which is the whole point behind the administration bringing this up. Obama interpreted Title IX as including your gender identity and transgender status. And if you don't know what Title IX is, I'll place that on the screen before you. Basically, if you are in education, I think maybe a teacher, student, or whatever, you can be protected against discrimination based upon your sex. Obama took that and added the whole transgender and then gender identity. This is Pandora's box. It's a big can of worms, spring it wide open, because if that's the case, then what's to prevent a person from becoming, quote unquote, becoming a female that was born male and going into the women's restroom in the college campus, high school campus, whatever the case may be? What's to prevent a male from joining a female fraternity? What's to prevent anything like that from happening? Then you're also going to have a lot of sexual assault allegations skyrocket, and probably more sexual assaults in general, because you're going to have men that take advantage of that law or that interpretation of the law and abuse it. Now, I'm not trying to say that every man is going to do that, nor am I trying to say that transgender people are somehow just generally rapists and stuff like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that there will be people that take advantage of the law. There will be those that use the law as a shield to do nefarious things. This is a very simple concept. And beyond just the things that could happen in the criminal sense, you're also going to have a lot of confusion about who to apply certain things to, and it just gets really murky, and it kind of eats away at what Title IX is. Title IX is a protection against discrimination based on sex. But when there is no real sex, when there is no real gender, how can Title IX actually be applied in a real way? Because you can just say, well, I'm not this particular sex, I'm this particular sex. So it's just really weird. And I think Trump and the administration did the right thing here, because what is the other alternative? You're going to have a lot of confusion. A lot of people don't really know what's going on. It was the right thing to do. Now, of course, the liberal media, the celebrities that are out there, quote unquote celebrities, they're going to be incensed. Some of these transgender people, you got people out there protesting the White House with signs. And one thing that's kind of irritating me is how they're trying to liken this to civil rights. I'm seeing articles written, they're saying Trump has rolled back civil rights for transgender Americans. It's like, wait a minute, let's slow down, pump the brakes here, boss, because I did not remember the civil rights movement in the 60s being about your gender identity and stuff like that. So how are you going to be Johnny come lately and hop on the bandwagon? You know, the civil rights movement, that was for black Americans, not for transgender Americans. All right. You see me, you see my face, you see what's going on. You know that I'm black. This is not a thing I chose to be. This is just me. This is how I was born. All right. If you are transgender or trans machine, helicopter, tank, boat, whatever you call yourself, you chose that. You chose that. Now, some would say, well, this is where I was born. Okay, you could say you were born as an attack helicopter, but at the end of the day, you chose to identify as that. One thing that nobody can choose, regardless of how they see themselves or their appearance or whatever, which is totally irrelevant, but one thing that nobody can choose is our DNA. XX or XY. It's simple. Whatever your gender is, according to your genitalia, your biological things that cannot be altered. Like, there's no sex change out there that's going to change your chromosomes. You can remove your twig and berries. You can get certain things sewn on or chopped off. That's not going to change your DNA at all. So let's have that just be that. Because you don't want this whole thing with Title IX in education to spill out into the general world. All right. You don't want it in the military. I think Trump banned trans service people, but I'm not really sure if that stuck. If you know about that, let me know in the comments. But it was the right thing to do. That's just going to make a lot of complications out there on the battlefield, especially those that are going through hormone therapy and stuff like that. You got a lot of medical issues that you need to be tending to. The military is very selective. You can't even really join if you got diabetes. So how would you be able to join if you have this whole thing that requires you to be on hormones and medication for an extended period of time? You know, if you have certain parts of your body that are removed surgically and you got to recover from that. If you have an obvious mental issue, I'm not trying to say that you somehow a head case for being transgender, but at the same time, I kind of am, because I think that many of us understand that there's a higher rate of self-harm among trans people. These are things that are facts. This is not really any kind of conjecture or opinion or any kind of mudslinging. So I think Trump and the whole team did the right thing here. It's simple. I don't care what race you are. I don't care what color you are. I don't care how you dress, how you look, your weight, none of that. The only thing that really unites us as one is our biological stuff. Male, female, that's it. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. You're going to be either one or the other. That's it. So that's pretty much all I got for that. So what do you think? Do you think it was the right thing for Trump to say either you're male or you're female? There's going to be no more of this gender identity, transgenderism stuff when you're talking about the law that Barack Obama put into place or that he interpreted into place. Matter of fact, I think there was a court case against what Obama did, because in Obamacare, there's no such clause about gender identity and stuff like that. Right. So if it's not there in healthcare, then how can it be there when you're talking about Title IX? See, a lot of these laws, sometimes they seem like they're kind of innocuous and not really that big. But once you zoom out and look at it and see how it affects other things, then you begin to understand. But am I being the fearmonger about this whole thing of college campuses, high school campuses, where people can go into the restroom of their choice, where it's going to be more sexual harassment, sexual assault, and also about dorm rooms? What if you have a male? I'm 6'3", 210 pounds. What if I decide I want to be a female and I don't do anything to my body? I'm the exact same way I am right now. And I say, yeah, I want to go into a college campus in the girl side and be there. All right. That's just not, like, I'm 34 and I go into a college campus with 18, 19-year-old. Come on. Nobody will really permit that. But see, in the day and age of this whole gender identity, gender dysphoria, gender confusion, you can do whatever you want. It's going to create dangerous circumstances. But hey, like I said, like I asked, am I fear mongering? Are these things not really going to happen? Has it ever happened before? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments.